Hi, my name is Nick Wong, and today we'll be talking about the chemistry of explosives. Okay, so for some introduction, we will be talking about its importance. It is important to know about explosives because they could cause potential harm, and it's important to know how to avoid any possible danger. Some background on explosives. What are explosives? Explosives are a substance or device that can be made to produce a volume of rapidly expanding gas in a brief time period. There are four types of explosives: natural, mechanical, chemical, and nuclear. Now, natural explosives occur after large influx of energy in nature. For example, volcanoes. When magma rises, magma contains gas bubbles and pressure builds and causes an explosion. Mechanical explosions are caused when high pressure gas encounters physical reaction within a container. For example, an overheated boiler or throwing a can of beans into a fire. Chemical explosions are caused by decomposition or combination reactions that produce large amounts of hot gas, expand fast, and pressure builds up. And an example of that would be gunpowder and dynamite. Finally, we got nuclear explosions. These are caused by fusion and fission reactions. Splitting of the nuclei of the fissile elements creates a bomb core. Now, fission is the process which involves an atom's nucleus splitting into smaller particles, releasing neutrons and lots of energy. Fusion requires high temperature and are initiated by fission reactions. Now for some historical development. Some key developments were in 220 BC by Chinese alchemists was the discovery of black powder, and it was created by mixing potassium nitrate, charcoal, and sulfur in a furnace. Then gunpowder, first discovered in Europe in the 13th century by Roger Bacon. He experimented with mixtures of potassium nitrate. And then nitroglycerin in 1846 by Italian professor Ascanio Sobrero. It was the first explosive to be made stronger than black powder. And for some future development, explosive development will further the destruction of the environmental ecosystem if it is continued to be used and experimented with. So explosives are not very good for the environment. Now some explosive chemistry. How does an explosive work? Well, under the influence of thermal and chemical shock, it decomposes rapidly with the evolution of large amounts of heat and gas. Some high explosives contain a mixture of an oxidant and a reductant, either within a single molecule or an ionic solid. Some examples of single molecules include nitroglycerin, pentaerythritol tetranitrate or PETN, trinitrotoluene or TNT, or triacetone triperoxide TATP. An example of an ionic solid would be ammonium nitrate when mixed with fuel oil. For example, a Semtex, which is a explosive, is a blend of RDX and PETN, and reductants consist of aluminum powder and fuel oil. Some other fields of expertise include law and construction mining. Now, according to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, it's illegal to manufacture, store, distribute, receive, or transport explosive materials without a federal explosives license or permit. ATF actively regulates and investigates the illegal use of explosives to protect the public from violence. Now, for construction and mining, explosives are very important for leveling out area for construction and just for mining excursions to clear out underground area. Next, we got the positive and negative impacts. What are some negative impacts? Well, explosives such as TNT and RDX and HMX pose a large potential concern to the environment because primary production for military use and defense is very common, and explosives within military defense are produced heavily. And then energetic research considers the concept of bioavailability, including factors influencing soil and sediment aging, absorption of energetic compounds from varying soil and sediment types, and the impact of bioavailability on ecological risk assessment. And some positive impacts include it is useful for underground mining and surface hard rock quarrying operations and construction projects. In conclusion, there are 4 types of explosions: natural, mechanical, chemical, and nuclear. Explosives are a substance and device that can be made to produce a volume of rapidly expanding gas in an extremely brief period. It has evolved over time from gunpowder, black powder, and nitroglycerin. High explosives contain mixtures of an oxidant and reductant, and there are many different types of explosives, that including a common one of like TNT. Law and construction mining companies are other fields of expertise in explosives, and explosives have a negative ecological effect on our environment. Thank you for listening.